ride around mighty Mike Perry Motorsport Park. Spider, Sidecars, great to see these kind of numbers, aren't we growing? Good to see here in the South Island.
Yeah, definitely. It's been tough with South Island sidecars over the years, and now part of this is due to the Suzuki Series. You know, there was 9 internationals over here for the Suzuki Series, and a lot of people decided to focus on that series. But look at that, we've got 11 sidecars out there. That's 22 competitors out on the track there at the moment, and it's an early lead, I think, for, well, that'll be Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan on the number 73 machine. Indeed, yes, it is indeed. And in second place, Drew Mayer and Alan Donovan. And then we go back to third. It looks like Pete the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop and the Lawrence brothers on number 11 there. It's a great class with all the different colours. You know, it's so hard for us commentators, especially with the sun coming and going, and it is hard for the spectators out there. So it's hard to pick up the colours, but the local man, Warwick Dimmicks there on 83, I think, there in 5th place there as well, with Will Climo doing the passengering. They had misfiring issues. They went to Whanganui this year and blew a motor, just spent too much time on that same motor without replacing the bearing shells. But right now, I think he's been passed around the Kawasaki, I was going to say Kawasaki, round the carousel. The carousel, don't even start with the same letter, but never mind. That's by number 99, Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen there. That's an interesting motorcycle as well. That's a new bike to the country. So, and there's the foreigners, Greg Lambert and Julie Canepa. Took 6 months off to go sidecar racing, and then got invited to New Zealand, so another 2 months for that. And now they've been invited by Carl Cox Motorsport to go to Australia and compete as well. So how do you deal with that time off work? That's long sabbatical, isn't it, Neil Richard?
And that's why you've got only 10 pairs in your program, but there's 11 out on the racetrack because, of course, the addition of the letter L. So that's great to see Greg and Julie added to our lineup. But for me, Spider, the highlight is that yellow bike out there, the number 35, because yes, indeed, it is back, and you well know the memories that come from this fantastic machine. So isn't it great to see the Mo Halley built bike, the legendary Arjip Oils machine? No, a couple of different people on it these days, but it's just to show you that the bike can still go. I think the number 35 means it's been there for 35 years. Is that the story?
It wouldn't be far off that.
There it goes.
Yeah, no, Kai Matesius bought this bike and actually restored it. Oh no, it was another guy bought it and restored it back to the colours. The Ajip colours. That was a New Zealand Championship winning bike back in 1988, and got a Yamaha FZR1000 in the hands of, it was Mo Haley built, it was Dave Beresford and Vince Sturr, both Air Force boys from Mohakia, running around. I think Vince had removed himself from the Air Force, or been removed, I don't know, but Vince's still on the sidecar scene. He wasn't in the Air Force by that stage, I think, but he's still in the aircraft mechanic trade, and helps prepare Adam Unsworth's bike, and Adam doing so well in the Suzuki Series, but already 73 has a huge lead there. This is a weapon of a machine. This won 20 out of 20 races in the British Superbike Championships this year in the hands of 5 times world champion Tim Reeves, with his brother Tristan Reeves doing the passengering. So a very well prepared and a very, very fast machine. So he's in first place. Pete the Pirate there on 111 with Kendall Dunlop there in second place. So we got 2 ladies out in the front there, Tracy Bryan and Kendall Dunlop doing the passenger. We also got in 4th place, it looks like Tina McEwen's settled in there with Andy Scrivener. That bike's going all over the track. There's something going on with that. He is struggling. Andy Scrivener's 9 times New Zealand sidecar, 8 or 9 times. Let's give him 8, but possibly 9 times. We all go on about Andrew Stroud winning 9 Superbike championships, but Andy Scrivener's won a similar number of championships, but he's never ridden a long bike until this season. So that's interesting. The Lawrence brothers out there, Chris and Richard Lawrence as well there on their new bike. They must be in their mid-50s now, both of them, and we thought they were going to retire when they sold their Anderson-built machine, which now number 67, Dave MacArthur and Tony McEwen. Tony News, sorry, but the Lawrence brothers go out and buy themselves an LCR. LCR stands for Louis Christian Racing, and that's the Swiss-made machine that is oh so dominant at the World Championships. As the odd Windle gets up there, which is a British-made machine, and the LCR out in the front, number 73 as well. Not sure what Pete the Pirate's running today. He's got an LCR and a Windle, so he's got 2 long bikes. It's also his short 600cc bike that Greg Lambert and Julie Canepa are riding. So we've got a mixture of Formula 1 and Formula 2 bikes out there. Actually, I don't think it's much of a mixture. I think the sole 600 Formula 2 bike is that letter L. Internationals run a letter that is in the MNZ rules, so the letter L. And great to see them how their Grand Lambert builds sidecars for a living. And Julie Canepa is actually a postie, as is indeed the girl that's out in the front, Tracy Bryan. She gets up 4 in the morning and does the rural delivery up in the Tauranga area, Neil.
I'll tell you what, rural delivery is exactly what will be required for these guys. They're that far out in the front. They're almost in the country, aren't they? So there you go. Just fantastic to see. 73, got to love it. Barry and Tracy, what a standard that they've set. And Carl Cox Motorsport, huge thanks and congrats for the contribution that they've made to the sport. Speaking of that, Spider, did you get to the Boxing Day night? Did you get to the Carl Cox DJ show in Frank's Bar?
Yes. I've been... DJ music was never really in my vocabulary until I heard of this Carl Cox. Met him down south a couple of times. Thought I'd go and look at a bit of music on YouTube. And I remember interviewing at Taupo and said, "Mate, you're so popular. I've seen some of your YouTube hits with 2 million on there." And he sort of nodded his head and smiled. And he didn't say anything to that. Now I get home that week, thought, right, I'll put on a bit of Carl Cox here. Found a YouTube hit with 31 million hits on it, so he never corrected me.
At 2 million, and so you're only wrong by about 95%.
Yeah, but he never corrected me. That's the casual nature of the man. But I went along there, never got there till 20 to 1 in the morning, because we went to the prize giving, and that was a good night. And we went to a pub, and that closed, so I thought, I better go and tick this one off. I have been to music shows over my life. I've never been to something so powerful and so interesting as that. I mean, awesome. My eardrums are still on the floor, but the music, the quality of music. The only reason I left was because I thought, when 500 people get out of this place, we're going to have a trouble getting a taxi. So I wandered up to McDonald's and got
breakfast while you were there.
Yeah, sort of. What do they call that meal when you have between tea and breakfast? I know the breakfast lunch one's brunch, but Carl Cox, just a legend, and so passionate about motorcycles. I can't remember anybody that's jumped around in a commentary box so much as he has. He just absorbs every little bit of it.
Now, I think the first time, Spider, that we got a bit of an idea of this and then thought, well, that's great that he's done that, but then even better that he's gone and done it even mega times more was when we learnt that he was at Queenstown and they knew the New Zealand racing was on at Timaru and said, well, come on, guys, we've got to get to this place. Timaru, how do we get there? Oh, you can't drive there, so he went and hired a helicopter. And the boys rock starred and landed in the top end of the course, and we had the privilege of getting to interview them and just say, oh, yeah, it was sort of like a casual comment, oh, we've just come in a helicopter. To learn afterwards, from Queenstown to Timaru is not your average helicopter trip, so...
$5,000 it cost them, and then I think the racing was delayed, so they tipped up another 2, and it was a brand new helicopter today. But the bottom line is that whole team was so passionate about it, and Carl Cox, it was great to have you. He's also now part of the Taupo Motorsport Park as well, the Taupo Bruce McLaren's Park as well, bought into that. And Carl, yeah, it's great to have you in the country. Great to finally have you at the cemetery circuit. I know you enjoyed it, and it was also the first time to Whanganui that I've been to where they've had an after-race concert on there that worked properly. Other ones have been too big and everyone's too worn out, but that thing I think was a sellout.
Yeah.
It's not happened before, and great music too.
Here indeed. Well, a slight detour, but more the fact, and the reason we're mentioning all this is not to say that what the man's like himself, it's the fact that he is contributing to New Zealand motorcycle sport, and as an Englishman, he could go and do it anywhere or do anything, and he's helping us here in New Zealand. We love him, and his contribution is to be respected and admired. So bring it on, Carl Cox Motorsport, proud to be supporting the fabulous LCR that we have in the front of our field with Barry and Tracy, and a margin. It's a margin that we'll be keen to talk about that they've got on this pack, and it will be a difference. What are we going there at the moment at about 14 seconds? I think 14 seconds. That's a long term in motorcycle racing to be that far out in front, so that's a significant margin that he's got on this field, and that's the difference, in fact, of coming onto the straight and seconds just coming out of the dipper. So there you go, number 73, folks, world-class sidecar racing right here at Ruapuna for the opening round of the 2018 New Zealand Superbike Road Race Championships, courtesy of the great Barry Smith, the quality Englishman who now calls New Zealand home, and the lovely Tracy Bryan, the postie from Tauranga.
All right, those sidecars hugging the inside wall, that's all about the wind, I'm pretty sure. Here we go, the two 99.11 go across the start-finish line. What is the split there? 14 thousandths of a second. Now, I've been watching this to happen all season there. Andy Scriven, as I mentioned, has moved on to the big bikes, and he's been struggling with cracking it. He's really been struggling. His passenger's been struggling in that. But I see this as a breakthrough, getting out there and dicing with the Lawrence brothers. You can see those two bikes coming out of the Flexor Plus. They're going across towards the hairpin via the Icon corner there. Andy Scriven on 99 with Tina McEwen doing the passengering, and wrong wrongly announced at Wanganui. Sorry, I shouldn't bring this up. His husband and wife, Andy Scrivener, got married. It's so easy to mix up names. Andy Scrivener and his wife Vicky got married at Wanganui 20 years ago, and Neil Ritchie mentored Andy and Tina. So easy because that's a sidecar combination. So, but it is Andy and Tina there with the Lawrence brothers there. Been racing forever together. They've oddly occasionally had other rides just for one-off sort of meetings and that, where they've split up. Done classic racing as well. Been to the Isle of Man about 5 times, I think, and finished the Isle of Man TT. And Chris says no, that's enough. It's too grueling on the body. And I'll tell you what, speaking of bodies there, this team swapped body parts sometime, not in that way, but Chris Lawrence had a kidney failure there some years ago, and at one stage was racing sidecars with 15% of his kidney function there, and he went into surgery, got his kidneys chopped out, and brother Richard stepped up there and handed him. I don't even know what a kidney does. I know you can't have a steak and kidney pie without one, but that's the medical dramas that these boys have had over the years. But and remember their long-term motorcycle fan, well, longer than they've been around, Frank Lawrence, the father, who was one of the huge drivers of motorcycle racing in Taupo. Let's go back to the results thing there, and it is Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan, followed by Peter Goodwin, Kendall Dunlop there on the 111 machine. Chris and Richie Lawrence go through on 11, Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen on 99, and Drew Mayer and Alan Delavan, they're flying through there. In fact, look at their lap times. The last lap time they were in the 47, so they're actually 4th fastest on the track in 5th spot. So Warwick Dimmicks and Will Climo there in 8th, Gregory Lambert and Julie Canepa on the first of and the only 600 there on the number 7 machine. Phil Munro and Steve McInerney there on 77, Dave MacArthur and Tony New on bike number 67th and 9th. Now Tony McHugh had a bit of an off this morning coming out of the dipper. The bike hooked up and he didn't hook up the handle properly and tumbled. That's only his second time he's fallen off in about 4 or 5 seasons of sidecar racing. He fell off at the hairpin at Manfield in the Suzuki Series, but we won't mention that. And
how much does that cost him, Spider?
Dozen beer, tray of beer, and 2 trays of beer for a rider.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be supervising the consumption of that, and I'll bring the straws and won't hand too many out. I don't know when that's coming on. David MacArthur, Tony McHugh on 67 there in 10th place. They've been passed by Gordy McEwen, and Gordy McEwen on number 19. Hello, I'm not even on the right page. Gordy McEwen on number 19. Sorry, I'm just trying to... Jeff, I'm trying to think of his surname. Sorry, folks, we'll get on with it.
Jeff Davies,
yeah, and Jared Winter and Kelly Winter doing the passengering on number 35. Remember, this is a post-classic machine, so this is basically a pre-89 sidecar. Great battle going out there on the infield between the local team, Warwick Dimmicks and Will Climo, and Greg Lambert and Julie Canepa as well. You'll see that coming into the dipper, the blue letter L, Greg Lambert, and you'll see, oh, look at them hooking up. Oh, a bit of a slide coming out of that corner, but they make up the time on the infield on that little 600, but then maybe that 1000's going to go on. Here we go, Drew Mayer's got into 4th place there, coming down the start-finish line. So Drew Mayer has got into 4th place there, and this is a reasonably old bike. We've got sidecars are interesting. We've got short bikes. The only short bike out there, proper short bike, is the letter L going through the start-finish line where the engine is below the rider. And then we've got the long bikes where the engine is behind the rider and they're very, very long. But Drew Mayer has got a long, short bike. It's got the engine behind, but it's a very, very short, compact bike. So it's got the best of both worlds, and we'll go really, really well on the wet there.
And
so
what about the 35? Of course, that's an old one where the engine is what I used to call up front, because it's so much higher, Spider, than what we see now. The engines are a lot lower now. So that's short, but short but high. Does that make sense? A short chassis, but a high engine.
Yep, Mo Haley built those bikes pretty well strong. They were heavier than everything else, but that's why they've survived as well in their original condition. Not much going on in chassis changes over the years, and that's the adjunct colour machine, the number 35. So that's a post-classic type of machine. Still 11 sidecars on the track out of 11 starters.
There we go, brought to us by Motorcycling Canterbury and Budget Motorcycle Spares. Motorcycling Canterbury would like to thank their sponsors: Avon City Motorcycles, Budget Motorcycles, Casbolts, Dan Ormsby Motorcycle Training, Evergreen Paint Limited, Kiwi Motorcycle Company, Muzzers Bikes, Norjo Motorcycles, Trevor Pierce, Yamaha, your destination store with underground brown and black top brown. All great teams coming together for a great event with our Have a Go Day. And Motorcycling Canterbury, proud to be sponsoring our sidecar racing today. Spider, the letter L out there with Greg and Julie, that's a different letter L to what we saw at Wanganui. So what's happened with their machine change?
Different bike. The Wanganui, all the bikes at Wanganui had to go back into a container to go back to the UK. they got out here and someone says, why don't you do the South Island with us? And Pete the Pirate, who raced that bike at Whanganui, says you can borrow our bike, and they're here for this one. And then the next one down at Timaru for the second round of the New Zealand Superbike Championships 2018 next weekend. And then Carl Cox has taken them across to Australia to do Phillip Island. So Julie, as I said, had 6 months off work and hasn't told her boss yet that she's going to take another 2 weeks. They are keen to come out here next year and do the whole of the New Zealand Superbike Championships and the 2 rounds of March as well. All depends on money is the basic thing. It's not so much time off work, it's about being able to finance it. But we had a lot of help from everyone over here in terms of accommodation and providing vehicles and meals and that sort of thing. So some people don't necessarily chip money into their sport and help them out as much, but help them out with vehicles and that sort of thing, which is great. Looks like a retirement for, I think that's Drew Mayer and Alan Donovan there, the number 42 machine. I think that is out of the hairpin. They haven't crashed. It looks like they've just retired, but we will probably have to wait till the transponders confirm it. Here's the white flag coming out. That is definitely Gordy McEwen going through there, so that's confirmed. There's 3 green bikes. They're well presented this year. They're crazy, I'm not even going to say that word even at home. Crazy bunch of people. They've got team shirts. They've got the word team shirts written on there, matching shirts, sorry, and team hats and sponsor stickers all over it. But well presented. Looks like Thunderbird 2 sometimes, same colour as Thunderbird 2, but a little bit faster.
Only slightly.
All right, now the lead bike has taken the white flag there. We've also got the second bike, Pete the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop, gone through there in second place there. Looking out, third has gone through. 11, number 11's gone through in third. So where is Drew Mayer was in fourth place? Where is Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen? They're coming around the big sweeper. They've slowed considerably here at Ruapuna, so something going on there. Every now and then, I'm not going to blame this passenger, but every now and then if things go, the passenger can't cope, they sometimes tap the rider. Well, I reckon she hasn't got the arm reach to reach right over there and tap him, but he may have got the signal. At the end of for holding their position, they need to finish as a team. That's the rules, of course. Of course, that's how it stays safe. You don't want someone bouncing down the road, so a problem there definitely with Andy Scrivener. He's slowed down about 12 seconds there. Gregory Lambert goes through there in fifth place with Julie on the side, Julie Canepa, Warwick Dimmicks, and Will Climo, and a DNF, Drew Mayer and Alan Donovan. So in seventh place, so they'll drop down the screen. We're looking out for 77, Phil Munro and Steve McInerney coming through. In fact, there's the checkered flag. There's the checkered flag, number 73. Best lap time, 1:41. That's still considerably away from the 1:38 lap record, which was set on the same machine. So as I say, this thing's gone back to the UK and had 20 race wins over there in the hands of Tim Reeves and Tristan Reeves. So I dare say that's faster than ever, but all right, it's all about the conditions and maybe the tyre choices and knowing that they had a comfortable machine up their sleeve and just circulating as fast as they needed to. But Colin Buckley, certainly a well-respected sidecar rider, with Robbie Shorter still hold the lap record. We haven't seen any lap records go as yet. Oh, no, hang on, that 300 lightweight one. Did we get to that one in the end? We didn't get to that. We were 0.3.